Okay, so let's check up the questions really quickly, and then I'll give you the next set of practice for the test. Expand and simplify. So I have a term outside a bracket. That means I have to distribute it. Distributive property. Distributive property. Which means you're multiplying. Which means you're multiplying the term in. So n to the 5th times 2, 2 and 5. Plus, when you multiply them, again, what do we do to the exponents? Add them, so n7. Okay. This question doesn't ask you to rewrite it in descending order, so it's fine. You can just leave it like this, and you don't need to change anything. Yeah, but for good practice, though, you should. So you're not wrong. Okay, this one. This is a monomial. What is this? Also a monomial. So you're just doing a monomial times a monomial. So here, 2x to the 5. Again, you're adding the exponents. Do I need to multiply this with this? No, because this is not part of the bracket. So this is just plus 7x5. Am I done? Why not? Yeah, same base. They're both x to the 5th, so I can combine them. So altogether, I have 9x to the 5th. Right, Anjali? Okay. Any? Copy this down, especially since you don't have the work done. Okay. Multiply. So negative 5b plus 2b squared. Remember, b times b is b squared. And then plus b squared. Don't forget, negative times a negative makes a positive. So this and this can go together. Oh, 10b squared. Thank you. I cannot multiply. Thank you. So negative 5b, and then when you add these two, plus 11b squared. Okay. Multiply. Okay. I know when I did the lesson on adding and subtracting, I said we could either do plus and then change the sign and everything in, or multiply that negative one in. It means exactly the same thing. So negative 10b, and then negative 10 times negative 4 gives you positive 40. Negative, you can think of it as like negative 1. So negative 1 times 2b is negative 2b. And then negative 1 times 1, you get negative 1. Okay? So when you combine the like terms, you have negative 12b. And then the 40 and the 1, you get plus 39. Remember to connect each of the terms with a plus or minus sign, depending if it's positive or negative. Okay, last one right here. So you get 4r squared plus 2r. Okay. How many of you got all of number 4 correct? Good job. Yeah. If you can do number 4, I think you'll do very fine on the test. Number 5, add or subtract the following polynomial. Remember your final answer should be in simplified form. So like group all the like terms together. So this and this can go together. So you have 4x. And then this and this goes together. So you have plus 3. Done. Okay. Which way do you guys like more? To multiply everything by negative 1 or change the sign in the second bracket? Okay. Both are the same. So we'll do change the sign in the second bracket for this one. Okay. So remember, this was like the very first method that I taught you guys when we subtract polynomials. So it's the same method. Okay. Okay. So 2x. Take away 10x squared, you get negative 8x squared. 4x, nothing goes with 4x, so just plus 4x. And then lastly, minus 5 plus 70, you get plus 65. Okay. Yeah. All right. How many of you did 5C? What did you realize? Yeah, it was the same question. It was the same question as B right here. How many of you noticed it after you did it? It's okay. You guys got the extra practice. So this one right here, you're just grouping like terms. So this, the S goes with the S, goes with the S. So all three of those can go together. So S cubed, negative 3.5 plus 2 plus 10. What's that? 9.5? Huh? 8.5? Thank you. Plus 8.5S minus 70. Okay, so you can see it's like A, B, C, S, T, X, Y. It's just a variable. Okay. So this one, I'll do the negative 1 and multiply so that you guys see this. It's the same thing. So when you do this, you get 3x squared minus 9x minus 27. When you multiply that negative 1 in, you get negative x squared, positive x, and positive 2. Just like if we were to change the sign and everything in the second bracket. The same thing. And then this and this goes together. So you get 2x squared, negative 9x, positive x. They go together. You get negative 8x. And then the negative 27, positive 2, you get negative 25. Okay. I am going fast right now because we're just taking up the homework. So you guys should have most of these done already. Okay, simplify the following expression using power rule. Okay, same base. So this is just 2 to the 9. This one, same base. So 5 to the 23. Okay, this one right here, when you divide, you subtract. So you get d to the negative 2. On the test, I will probably ask you to put it in positive exponent. So how do I rewrite this with positive exponents? 1 over d squared. Good. Okay. Some of you might have written like this. Okay. It's not wrong, but you can still simplify it to this. So this is the better answer. Because 1 squared is just 1 and then d squared. Okay. This one, there was a mistake in the answer key. What should this answer be? X to the power of 6. Yes, so it is 6. If you check the answer key and you found that it was wrong, the answer key was wrong. So t to the 4. Okay, so this one, I add the numerator and then subtract the denominator because I'm multiplying here. So 19, and then when I divide, I subtract. So 19 take away 6, I get 13. Okay. This one, don't forget your exponent applies to everything inside the bracket. So here I have x to the 5, y to the 12. 35. What? Why did I get 12 from? Just checking to see if you guys are paying attention. All part of the plan. Hey, this one, ooh, looks ugly. Should I multiply the 7 in first, or should is there a better choice? Add it first, right? Brackets, just like BetMath. Deal with your bracket first. I can simplify the inside right here. So I get x to the 9, y to the 4, 7, and then x 3, y 30. Okay, so brackets, exponent. So now I have to multiply this in. I cannot divide first. I cannot divide first because bad math. So I have negative x to the 63, y to the 28, because I'm multiplying, over x3, y 30. Okay, and notice I dropped the bracket as well because I just multiplied it to 7 to the exponents. The negative is on the outside, so it's still on the outside. Even if this was an even exponent, remember your answer will still be negative because the negative sign is on the outside. So now I can subtract. So negative, and then x to the 60, and y to the negative 2. Okay, I don't like that negative exponent, so this means it's x to the 60 times 1 over y squared. Right? When I multiply it, negative x60 over y squared. Okay, right, Anjali? Right? Did you get H correct? Okay. All right. This next one, I can combine all the x's together first. So again, brackets. So here I have x to the 20 after I add it. Don't forget to write that 10 on the outside. It's still there. And on the denominator, I can add the exponent here as well. All right. One common mistake that people do, a 10, and then they just cancel them. You cannot cancel it like this. Bad math tells you to do exponent next. So x to the 200, and then x10. and then when you subtract, you get x to the 190. That's your answer. Okay, so just because you see this doesn't mean you can cancel it. I know it's tempting, but don't fall for it. Okay. How many of you got H and I correct? Okay, so good. H and I were the two tricky ones. Okay, almost done. A few more questions. How could you rewrite 4 to the 8 as a power with different base, like 2 to the 16? So I need a 2 right here. So that 4, what can I rewrite that to us? Pedro?
Bracket 2 to the power of 2, close bracket, to the power of 8.
Good. Okay. And then, so this, you also get to the 16, which is what we want. Any other? Any other? I'm thinking myself too. 2. Yeah, I can also rewrite it as 2 to the 8 square. This will also give me 2 to the 16, right? So there's another one. Anyone have another one? So remember, all you need is for your exponent to be 16. Yeah, so 2 to the power of 4 to the power of 4 will also give you 2 to the 16. So all of these will work. Okay, but most importantly is you need the base of 2. If it's not the base of 2, you can never get to this. So you have to change your base of 4 to a base of 2. Determine the missing factor. So first off, we'll have to simplify this before we can figure out what this is. So 4x squared, negative x squared, you get 3x squared. Negative 3x, positive 9x, you get plus 6x. And then positive 2, positive 1, you get positive 3. Okay, once you do a couple of these, you don't even need to change the sign. You can do it in your head. So then when you compare with this, you can see that it's 3. So the question mark equals 3. Okay. Do all the terms have to match? So can it be like, oh, this term I multiply by 2, this term I multiply by 3, this term I multiply by 4? No. So yeah. So if you say that question mark is 3, when you multiply it to all 3, you should get exactly the same. If here you got like a plus 4, but when you multiply you don't get 4, it means you made a mistake on the left side. Okay, so it has to match up. You can't be like off by a little. Okay, similarly with this one, let me rewrite. Minus, this becomes just x squared. So minus x squared minus x plus 20. Okay. Simplify. So this with this. So 10x squared negative 4x. And then plus 22. So when you compare this with this, you can see that the question mark is 2. Right, 2. You can just check by just the first term. You can see it already. Just doing the second term and the third term just fortifies your answer. Okay. Last 2 questions. A rectangular prism has a square-shaped base with a side length of x centimeter. The height of the prism is 4 times the side length of its base. Write a polynomial to model the prism's volume. Okay. So here's my rectangular prism. Okay. Square base shape. So square base, that means this right here, this is a square. That's a square there. Each side is x. And then the length right here, the length of the prism is 4 times as long. So what's my expression for this length? Pedro? 4x. Good job. Okay. Volume. What's the formula for volume? No, not sides cube because it's not a cube. Length times width times height. So length is x, width is x, and we'll say height is 4x. Or 4x times x times x. Doesn't matter which order you do. You can do 4x times x times x, or the other way. It's you multiply. So the order doesn't matter. What does this simplify to? 4x cubed, right. Remember the exponent 1, exponent 1, exponent 1. So when you add it together, you have the cube. Okay. Is your polynomial monomial, binomial, or trinomial? Mono, right, because there's just one term. Okay, so even though it's a cube, doesn't mean that it's a trinomial. It's a number of terms. Okay, last question. Oh, sorry, never mind. Write the formula to model the surface area of the prism. Okay, who knows the formula? Who knows the formula for a rectangular prism? Yep. Yeah. Good. On the test, if I were to ask you this, I'll give you the formula. It's right. It's right. Oh, I messed up. Length width, length height. Okay, how to tell that I messed up? You should have 2 of each letter. Because there's like 2 of each side, right, in a prism. So that's how you know. Okay, so if let's say the length is 4x, width is x, height is x, based on our diagram. So now we can sub it in. 2 length we'll say is 4x times x. By the way, we can use these dots to represent multiplication as well. Height is x, width is x, length is 4x, height is okay. And then BEDMAS tells us to deal with the brackets first. So 2, 4x squared plus x squared plus 4x squared. Okay, these are all x squared terms, so I could simplify it. I could group them together. So in total, I have 9x squared. And then lastly, multiply. So my final answer, 18x squared. Yeah, so all this simplifies to just a monomial. All right. How many of you guys got the 18x squared? Okay, good. This was tricky, especially because I didn't give you guys this formula right here. Okay, but now that we did this one, does it look better? Okay. Okay, last question. Simplify the following equations that solve for y when x equals 4. So let's simplify it first. So y equal 42x squared minus 5x minus 200. Apply the signs. So negative 39x squared plus 4x plus 202. Okay. Collect like terms. So the 42x squared and the negative 39x squared, they go together and you get 3x squared. Negative 5x, positive 4x, you get negative x. And then the minus 200 plus 202, you get plus 2. Okay. Am I done the question? What am I missing? Yeah, so you didn't, it's asking you to solve it when x is 4, which means I'm going to substitute the 4 into the equation. So replace all the x with a 4. I'm going to replace the x with a 4. I did exactly that. But yeah, Mohini. Brackets. Notice here, it looks like 34 square. Is that what we want? No. That's why you need brackets. Whenever you substitute, you need brackets. So now we know this means 4 squared, then times 3. 4 squared is 16. 16 times 3, 48. Thank you. Minus 4 plus 2. So y equals 46. That's your final answer. Okay. So on the test, I think I did put in a question where you have to substitute. So make sure you know how to do a substitution. Let's say I mess up this part. What's a way for me to check my answer? Put the 4 in where? Put a 4 in here. What's another way to check my answer? I have time at the end of my test. I want to check my answer to see if I got it right. Yep.
Make y 46 and resolve the equation finding x.
Oh, okay. That's a long way, though. That's a very long way. Other than subbing 4 in here, where else can I sub in 4? Yep. At the very beginning. That's right. If I put in a 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, and 4 here, and I solve it, what answer should I get? 46. Okay, so that's how I know I didn't mess up here as well. All right, because I think this is it's easy to group the wrong term together or write a sign wrong, and then you might get the expression wrong. So if you check here and you check here, you get the same answer. You know you're pretty likely that you got it correct. Okay. So these are like the little tricks that I try to teach you guys when I say like double check, triple check your work. Don't just look at it again, because when you just look at it, you don't catch your mistake, because otherwise you won't make that mistake in the first place. So that's why I'm trying to teach you guys different methods of checking your work. That's how you catch it. Okay, so that was the first set of review. How do you guys think you did? Okay, how many of you guys got most of these correct? Most of the review package correct? Okay, so those of you who didn't put your hand up, then that means we need more practice. And the practice is right here. Let's go on Brightspace. Content. Okay, so pay attention. Annie, Hassan, this is where you find it. Content. Chapter 3, Part 2. And then this practice quiz right here. Okay, practice quiz. Practice means that it's not worth marks. Okay, so I can, let me see if I printed enough copies for you. So we can, I can give it to you guys to try it now. Anything not done? Homework, and then we can take it up on Monday. Okay, so for the rest of the class, we'll do this practice quiz, which is not worth marks, but for you to know how you do. Okay.